I've had people ask me how I can possibly make the stuff that I make in the tiny little shop I have. So here's me entering my tiny little shop with my big 13s, and I'll close the door so it'll be where it's warmer in here. I've made a couple of videos of my little micro shop here before, so I'll just do a quick run around for people that haven't seen that one. But the purpose of this video is to show how I can maneuver stuff around and make use of all my tools. So here's just a quick run around of the shop. Almost impossible to make a video like this with a tripod. It has to be a handheld, so pardon the jerkiness, and I'll try and keep it as smooth as I can. And that's about all we can do when you're recording holding the camera in your hand. And of course there's a table saw right in the center, and going around and that's it, right back to the door where I came in. Okay, so start off with, there are a few things that I can get at pretty easily with without moving anything. Let's go, I'll just move the table saw a wee bit. Right here I can get at my bandsaw, drill press without moving anything. I can do most of my drilling right there. There's the air compressor down there. He just sits there and behaves himself. I guess before I go further, I think I want to show just how much actual space I have in here. I'll go down to the floor, and this is where I came in. And this is my walking space. There, going around the table saw. And there's a little narrow gap there. I gotta move the table saw a bit. There it is. That's how much space there is. But in spite of that, we get by pretty good. Well, let's go over here, just inside the door where I came in. There's my little sanding station. So it's just a matter of pulling that one out on wheels. It's on wheels. And hooking the shop back into the back of it. Now, say I want to use my bandsaw. Well, I can do small things right here without even moving it. But when I'm getting into bigger stuff, what I do is, a table saw is in the middle here. I simply move it over there. And then coming around here, if it's locked, no, it's not locked right now, so it's on rollers. I have everything on rollers pretty well. I'll pull my bandsaw out in the middle of the floor like that, and then I will lock it. Okay, there's my bandsaw. Lots of room to maneuver around that, do all the bandsawing I want. You can only use one tool at a time anyway, so I'm not using my table saw, so it's pushed to one side. Okay, right now I'm pushing it back up onto its wheels on the rolling stand, and there it is, back home. Okay, I want to use my planer. Well, what I do there is just kind of move the bandsaw over a little bit, flip up that wheel out of the way, and move this stand over a bit. And this is a very heavy stand. I need two hands, so I'm going to set my camera down on top of the planer, and I'm pulling out the stand. It's heavy because it's got the drill press and the planer all on one, So here I am. The camera going here. I'm right in the middle of the room now. There's the table down on the input side, and I have lots of room from there to run stuff through. If I need to do longer, plain longer boards, there's the door over there. I simply move the whole thing closer to the door, open the door, stick one end out there, and then I got lots of room for longer boards. So that works. I'm gonna set the camera down again while I push this back in with two hands. It's very, very strong, heavy sand. Okay, that one's back home. And of course, my table saw that is normally in the middle of the room. It's pretty well there, except that's the one I move most because it's to get at the other things. So I'm going to move the table saw now. I'm going to move it back over in front of the sander. Okay? Because I have a jointer back in there. And I've got my Ringmaster here. The Ringmaster gets used quite a bit. I've got lots of storage down there for clamps and things. I keep telling myself I'm going to build an extra shelf in there for long things. But anyways, I want to use my Ringmaster. I simply roll this stand out. Okay, the Ringmaster itself is in the middle of the floor right now. I can put a flat board on there and cut it into rings and turn it into a bowl. So room for that. Now for the jointer, I simply move this around a little bit more, spin it around this way, and now I can stand right behind it. Okay, it's a tiny shop, but I can stand behind this jointer. I can run joint pieces of wood for the size that I require. Just no problem. No problem. Just enough room to do it all. So I'm going to push this one back home where he belongs. And coming around from that is my routing station. My Bosch rotor. The rotor is under there. He's mounted in there. And oh yeah, before that, there's my heater. That heats this whole little shop. Little 1500 watt cube heater. But anyways, getting back to the rotor, I don't use it all that much, but it's handy when I do need it. So I have that on it's an extra piece of plywood base. So it's sitting right on this long bench. So I can just pick that thing up. And remember on the other side, well, I'll go around there. Try and not make it too jerky here. But there's the rigid sander on its own stand. Well, what I do there is I just take the sander off of its stand, set it on top of my table saw or on the floor, and then move this rotor table onto that stand. So that works out good too. Coming around a little further, I have my lathe. Well, right now, oh my gosh, I have stuff pushed around in here that I have all this floor space in front of my lathe. Lots of floor space. Man, you could have a dance in there. Just for two people dancing, but there's enough. There's enough room. So there I am with where I have my lathe. Down underneath here, I have my cyclone dust separator and my shop vac. So he's out of the way. Though, with the beauty of a small shop is that hose there will reach just about every tool in my shop, and it just takes a second to pop it onto a tool and move it to the next one. Now getting back to my bench here. The bench is only 5 feet long, but with my sanding station at one end of it, and then a bunch of, well, stuff at the other end, I've only got maybe 3.5 feet in between there. But it's enough, you know. Sometimes it gets so cluttered, and I'm moving my table saw right now while I'm holding this camera. Okay, but because I wanted to show something. If my bench is too cluttered up, well then I've got down below here. I just pull out this big board. As you can see, it's been well used. So there's that makes an extra little bench right in the middle of my shop. So that is how I maneuver around in here. It's tiny. Sometimes I have to go outside just to change my mind, and then I come back in and start working again. But we get by, and it's very, very easy to heat. So anybody that's contemplating a small shop, this might give some ideas. Okay, so I'm out of here. Hope somebody got a few ideas from this.